Welcome. That was really good. It was like coordinated.
We're not doing that again. Welcome back, guys. This is another Unorthodox reaction.
Cold open.
Unorthodox reaction.
Intro. Cold open.
Intro.
You forgot for a second.
We are continuing with part 2 of Mythology by
Incognito mode.
Exactly. We hope you guys enjoyed the last one. This is another one. Let's not waste too much time. But my mom's really nice and she fed me good. And I just want to say thank you.
That's really good, but that's really no information we needed this video.
I'm sorry. It's just been through a lot lately in the last 2 minutes.
You good,
between.
Are you sure?
Sure, I'll be fine.
Let's get the video will make you feel better. Let's just get into the video. David and Goliath.
David and Goliath? I think that one's pretty good.
What's the moral of David and Goliath?
I think it's supposed to be about sort of overcoming the odds. But I've heard an
Nasty
interpretation by
habit.
Malcolm Gladwell that I thought was really good.
Wait, have I seen this guy
This one
before?
where it's
I
like
don't think I have. What does Gladders say?
you've got two
Jeffrey
armies
Epstein.
and you're
I know it's not.
from
Calm
one another
down.
on a field. You're there in the Bronze Age. You're about to stab each other with these horribly blunt weapons and hurt each other and maim each other. And you know, you might have 2,000 troops on one side, 2,000 troops on the other, and you're all fairly evenly matched. The idea is that, you know what, instead of 4,000 of us getting potentially injured or killed, we'll take our strongest fighter and put him on the front lines, and you take your strongest fighter and put him on the front lines, and these two will duel, and whoever wins the battle.
So that's really
To be fair, why the frick would you not just do that in the first place instead of getting your whole army to march and then decide to do it?
No, that's what he's saying. That's what some guy was saying David and Goliath should have been.
No, that's what it was. That's what it is. It's like David and Goliath is like the two armies were like there. And I don't know who proposed. Someone proposed like strongest from one of the opposing and strongest, and then they do. But that's why it's like because David comes up and then he's like this small ass guy against this towering guy, and then their side is like, oh, we're gonna win this easy because look how small this guy is versus this big ass guy.
good diplomacy. I think we should do that now.
It is a good idea, right? His argument is that actually David had a massive advantage all along.
Technology.
Yeah, well, basically.
Yeah.
He goes into what effectively a slingshot was back in the day.
Bro, a slingshot was basically their version of a gun. You know, like it's ridiculously fast.
That's crazy, bro.
Facts.
So apparently, these guys
I wouldn't
used to
have
be incredibly accurate with their slingshots.
Like,
They
look at
all
that.
used to practice slinging because they were
Imagine
they were
getting hit
shepherds.
like
and
a
so
stone,
that was
hit
your
that
main
fast.
weapon against things that were going to eat your flock.
Wolves,
Yeah, exactly.
didn't know
Like
that.
foxes and large crows and such.
monsters that live in the backs of theatres.
Yeah, Mento.
Yeah, like really good ideas, IP wise. Just saying.
The other thing about a sling is that actually it's an incredibly powerful weapon. Like you can very easily
look at
kill
that.
someone with a sling. They've recorded it's like the equivalent of like a 32 caliber bullet if you get hit
That's
by a rock
crazy.
from a sling. And so basically it's the story of a
Bringing
man
a knife to a
with
gunfight.
knife going up against a man with a gun.
Yeah, the moral of the story is
Don't
bring a gun to a knife fight.
Well, at least wear a helmet.
The moral is bring your gun, not to bring it. That's the story. I love that video,
With
bro.
a knife going up against a man.
That is the lesson according to Goliath, if you take his perspective.
If David comes along and he goes, oh, you know what, I'm the toughest fighter from my village, and then Goliath's like, oh, I'm gonna fuck you up, kid. And then David goes, oh, I found a stone, look at this. And then basically hits him with the gun of their day. You'd be like, you can't just, this is cheating. Everybody charge, you know?
You're right, it was like set up like this samurai duel of honor, and this kid walks up and hollows some guy's head out in front of everyone. To be fair though, it's consistent with David's character. Do you know what he ends up doing after this?
Goes on massive.
Oh
bender.
yeah.
He does do that, invades
He's
loads
a
of places,
terrible
becomes
person.
king.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so a bit of an upgrade from shepherd. He becomes king of Israel. And then he spots a woman that he really likes far away, taking a shower from his palace, and he's like, I like her.
This is
And you
like
see this beautiful
I like the idea of like he just like stands like in the balcony of his like palace, and you can just see into like the women's bathhouses for some reason, and no one questions that.
I've never seen a woman that beautiful before. This is a part of the story that I've never quite understood about, is that he sees this woman bathing from his palace. So I don't know how he's managing that. But
She's living in a glass house.
there we go. Explains it. Perfect. Anyway, so he goes over and he's like, I'm the king, so you should think about upgrading. And she's like, well, actually, my husband fights in your army, so it'd be a little bit dishonorable. So David goes back, finds out who this guy is, sends him to the front line, and has him killed, and takes his wife.
Oh.
That's the story.
That's not so pleasant.
Basically, he killed her husband for a one-night stand.
No,
he married her, but he technically didn't because he just.
How'd you know? You weren't there. Are you his boy?
Maybe.
What are you gonna say for David?
You don't know.
Weren't there, bro. You're saying David didn't marry
I wasn't
her.
his boy. I was the wife's boy, the wife's husband's boy.
You made no sense.
I
Bro.
don't-
Oh, bro.
No, the wife's husband.
Yeah.
His name escapes me now. John.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know John.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was him.
Yeah, because they had Bear Davis, John's,
And Gary,
Marv, Gary, yeah.
Deshaun,
Bro, exactly.
Devontae's.
What's your favorite myth?
My favourite myth. Ooh,
Midas.
King Midas is one of my favourites. The king who
I wish
wishes
I
to
had.
turn
I
everything
think this
to
is
gold.
what we were on about
So there's a
before
guy.
as well.
His name's Midas.
When we talked about it with like, I think we've talked about Midas's story before. Where we were like, the lesson you learn from this is just not that you shouldn't do something, but always find loopholes, because it's not the fact of like everything it touches turns to gold. And obviously, remember we were trying to come up with like ways where like he could avoid like turning everything.
Oh,
he touches to gold,
yeah.
and specific things that he did.
Yeah.
Maybe like just put like a glove on, and then that turns into gold, and then obviously then from that you can never turn anything else into gold. Type of thing.
Who the hell's Ovid?
Oh, he's
yeah,
a poet.
yeah.
He wrote the Metamorphoses. Yeah, so a lot of the
Metamorphoses.
myths are sort of formalized because he's the first one who actually got it down on paper.
Alright, so he retains the copyright.
Yes, exactly. He,
So one day, Dionysus found that his old schoolmaster and foster father, the satyr Silenus,
the old satyr had been drinking wine and wandering away drunk to be found by some Pythagorean peasants who carried him to their king Midas. Midas treated him nice, 10 days in hospital, told him stories and songs. For someone governing a major Greek state, he's got a lot of time on his hands. And on the 11th day, he brought him back to Dionysus, the god of debauchery and drinking, and then he gets a reward.
you may have one wish. And then, oddly, he decides, anything I touch will turn into gold? Midas rejoices at his new power, which he has hastened to put to the test. He touches an oak twig and a stone, both turn to gold. Overjoyed, as soon as he got home, he touched every rose in the rose garden, and they...
But you know what I'm wondering though?
I can't touch my penis. Oh,
Not even that. It's like, how did he like not touch himself? Because
said
like
that.
not in that way, but like normally in everyday life, maybe like you're
but he
coughing
must be
or like you're scratching your head.
everything
Or,
else, because you like touching himself doesn't count as like a thing, does it? Like it probably doesn't count as like, oh, you touched an item. Do you get what I mean? He should have
Is
said
that how it
every.
works, though?
He should have said every item I touch apart from another person turns into gold.
you
Every
should've,
non-living item turns into gold.
Yeah, it should have.
See,
But
he
obviously that
should've
doesn't really
been-
come to mind when you say that.
I
It's
would have
like,
said that because
You look
I
at him
don't care
like,
if I could turn
that's
everything
not
to
what I
gold.
was saying.
I don't want to. I can't get no holes. Well, what am I going to? She's gonna be like, yeah, daddy, do me. I'm gonna be like, yeah.
But I mean, you could have just saved it and just picked up like a stick or something and said everything this stick touches turns to gold.
Everything. No, every time I hold this stick and I touch something with it, it turns into gold.
Something like that.
Yeah.
all became gold. He ordered the servants to set a feast on the table. Upon discovering how even the food and drink
Because I
turned
feel
gold
like
in his
it took him a
hands,
while
okay,
to realize
he
that when he
regretted
touches
his wish
people,
and
they
cursed
turn to
it.
Here's
gold.
one loop.
Turned to gold in his hands, okay, feast on the table. Upon discovering how even the food and drink turned to gold in his hands, okay, he regretted his wish and cursed it.
Here's one loophole I don't think he thought of.
Let's get someone
Could
to
he
feed you.
not hold something and then have the thing that he actually wants to hold in the thing?
They said that he was about to starve to death, so must not have worked. Otherwise, I mean, unless he's just dumb.
Dumb.
Like really
I mean,
dumb.
it has to be
Like
to
he's
make that
picking up
wish.
another apple and go, "Oh, not this one again."
I wonder if this is in some way linked to the magical gambit I made earlier this afternoon.
Dude, that'd be the worst. Could you imagine, like, testing all that stuff? Because I suppose you'd go, like, I'm so hungry, I guess I won't use my hands then. So you get some chopsticks, and you start putting stuff in your mouth, and then it touches your lips, then it just turns to gold. That would be the worst.
Nah, I
Does
don't
gold
think that's
just
how it
taste like
works.
pennies? Because it's gold, I assume.
Okay, so wait, because is it everything his hand touches or everything he touches? So any part of his body?
No, because then his clothes should be gold.
That's what I'm saying. So it's technically not, it's just his hand.
Yeah.
It tastes better than the inferior metals.
Yeah, I think it's got, like, even less flavor than, pennies.
It's just pennies. There's nothing worse. You're in a situation and you accidentally taste pennies because you know something's gone wrong. It's like,
No, the Kabuchi
penny
girl.
taste.
Hold on, so is he turning the air particles that go into his lungs into gold?
Okay,
He's
see,
breathing in
that's-
bits of dust, too. Surely they would turn to gold.
Yes, so I think
See, that's what I think is
particles
just his
or maybe
hands.
gases are exempt from his gold touching
Right.
powers.
No, wait, his clothes, the clothes on his body,
Yeah.
would instantly turn to gold then, you would think.
You would
Yeah,
think,
see,
I
that's what
think,
he
as is
said.
the nature of myths, I think they have to sacrifice a bit of conceptual clarity. And when you have a character like the Hulk show up, like he's always got to break his clothes in the right way. Otherwise, you just would have to have a bit of exposition in every film of just like, oh, do you see the Hulk's cock? Yeah, it is
Black
distressingly big.
Widow.
I'm scared.
It's exceedingly muscular foreskin and scrotum.
The loophole is necessary for storytelling as well as everything else, I suppose.
Yeah. Bro, it's... No, never mind. Yeah, I'll throw that thought away. It was just more about the Hulk's balls. Go on.
I know, tell me more about the Hulk's balls. That's great.
Well, I don't know. Is it regenerative? If you got, like, circumcised as a kid or something, does it grow back?
Wolverine will did
Does
it.
the Hulk have regenerative powers, or is he just super strong?
Is that what happens to...
Well, according to Marvel, apparently it doesn't, because he lost an arm and he couldn't regenerate it, so I don't think he does.
Wolverine, though?
Yeah, I mean, you can almost certainly suggest that Wolverine is uncircumcised.
In a version told by Nathaniel Hawthorne, Midas's daughter... Wait a minute. Is the daughter thing not in the original?
King Midas's daughter is not canon.
What the fuck? In the version told by Nathaniel
See, I
Hawthorne,
didn't
the
even know
Wonder
that.
Book for Boys and Girls. That's nice. That's a nice title.
That's so wholesome.
The Wonder Book.
That sounds
And Midas
so
and his daughter came to him
pedophile-y.
upset about the roses and that had lost their fragrance and became hard. And when he reached out to
Close.
comfort her, found that he touched his daughter and she turned soon to... So that version of the story...
Ah, it's from 1852. Didn't know that. Honestly, that's a genuine improvement.
Yeah, it's kind of like the
So
peak
what was
of
the original then?
conflict
Yeah.
in the story.
Yeah, it's good. It's way better storytelling. Well done, Nathaniel Hawthorne. You've improved a classic. You say we should write a wonder book for girls and boys.
We should get Nathaniel in on it.
The wonder book for e-girls and incels.
That's not bad.
Buy a wonder book for e-girls and incels. As approved by the internet historian, that's canon now, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Midas didn't do anything wrong. He shouldn't really be punished forever.
No, disagree.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Midas did so, and when he touched the waters, the power flowed into the river, and the river sands turned into gold. This explained why the river Pactolus was so rich in gold.
We were wrong this whole
So
time. This
the
isn't a
whole
story
river didn't
about
turn to
like,
gold.
not being materialistic. It's just a story about why there's gold in the river.
So is it just solid objects then?
Yeah, I love that idea. Like, Ovid shows up.
Yeah.
He's like, what?
The
That's
sand
what you took from the
particles will
story?
become gold, innit?
Yeah, because those are like
grains.
solid objects in it.
Yeah.
I guess water is not considered solid objects.
Oh, you could drink water then.
Yeah, so it should have lasted longer than
Yeah, just
10
like
minutes.
all his food.
And turn it into a drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
No, I was explaining why I'm holding this gold pan and up to my ankles.
I feel like this myth is just constantly misunderstood. It is about properly checking for loopholes in whatever agreement you make.
Exactly.
Be greedy, but be smartly
Yes.
greedy.
If King Midas had gone to his attorney and said, "I just want you to maybe look at this witch and see if there might be anything that might
proofread this
backfire
contract."
dramatically."
You're allowed to put caveats with your wish, right? So surely you could get around all of this stuff by just adding a clause that says, in the way that I hope for and the desired results expect.
That's great. That is the perfect magic wish loophole avoider. That's what King Midas should have done.
Yep, you should have talked to us first.
Exactly. You should have consulted us.
I'm sure there's practical uses for it though. Like, if you were... No, hold on. There must be one practical use of being able to immediately turn something into gold.
I'm trying to think.
Wait, before they say anything, can you think of one?
They had to get rich.
Well, obviously, but like, I don't know, like,
Because gold isn't like the strongest metal or anything, so
yeah, but it is metal, so it's kind of like,
it's not the strongest, is it? It's not the strongest, so is
I
it
don't know.
metal?
It is metal, yeah.
Is it? Fair enough. I don't know.
But then it's kind of like, what can you do with like being able to instantly turn something into metal?
You just look better, won't you? Bling, all that stuff in it. Like, if I wanted, I'd be like, oh yeah, golden PS4, PS5, like whatever. Oh, golden mic.
Heck yeah.
You get what I mean? So it's like,
Your whole house would be gold.
yeah, it'll look kind of dope, wouldn't it? As long as it's not too much gold.
Yeah.
Like they said, when desired.
Yeah.
Because the main thing is to have a lot of gold.
Okay, I've got one.
I'm impressed that you've got even one, because I've been trying to think of one.
You're at war
Uh-huh.
with the Japanese.
Not again.
Okay, no. You're at war, and you decide to hire some Japanese ninjas.
Cool.
You could take out some parchment and cut it into shuriken or whatever they're
Shuriken.
That's
shuriken
actually pretty,
shaped
that's
stars,
decent.
and then have Midas go swing over them, and then you could probably still throw them. Shall we wrap it up there? We need
Yeah.
we need
That's
a bit
a,
of
that's
an
a good
outro in
one
it.
to use it for.
Oh. Let's do something brave and original.
So like you could be like, you don't watch. For those of you who've watched Carmen San Diego on Netflix, this isn't an ad. It could pretty much be kind of like Paper Star, where like any like type of origami she makes becomes a weapon. So she can turn paper into a weapon. So she can make like paper shurikens and it becomes and acts like real ones.
Okay.
You can make like a paper sword and acts like a real one.
I think they're done now.
Yeah, but we're in the
about
outro.
to jump into
'Cause they
my
like to waffle tea.
Hindenburg 2 and float away.
I'm gonna go sleep in my glass house, unlike all you losers who can't even be seen while sleeping.
Alright.
See you later.
See you later. Oh no! Ordinary things, why did you put that massive antenna on the top of your glass house?
It's the only way I can know the truth.
The humanity.
Okay, I've got to go now. I'm being beamed up by 8G signals, so it's gonna be really fast.
I gotta go, I'm dead. I'm dead fireball.
Alright, guys.
Alright, guys.
That was the second half. That was really good.
Yeah.
Quite enjoyable.
Very enjoyable.
Exactly. Well, we hope you've learned something from it. We
I
can
do
do what
like
you wish for.
Incognito stuff. They are pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I like it as well.
Yeah.
Be careful what you wish for if you're gonna make a wish about.
Make sure your solicitors proofread the contract
Exactly.
first.
And also think about it.
Or add a clause that kind of negates any loophole.
Exactly. Like, do
In the
you
way
want to eat?
I desire in my mind right now, type of thing.
But yeah, like they said, make sure Medusa isn't your princess. No, I'm joking. Was it?
Make sure Medusa is your princess, because she is fire.
And then you're gonna die.
It's worth it.
There's not.
Absolutely
No
worth it.
girl is worth death
Bro, Medusa.
unless she is your mother,
Or Medusa.
or your mother or a woman. or the mother of your kids. Yeah, that's it. Or the father of your kids. I don't know. Okay, guys, thank you. We're just waffling now. Outro. I'm gonna go fly.
Cold.
Yeah, this is okay. This has been another Unorthodox reaction.
Cold.
Unorthodox outro.
Cold.
We hope you've enjoyed.
Cold.
If you're still here with us, we want to say thank you.
You're
If you're no
welcome.
longer here, thank you.
You're welcome.